Hey there, I'm Ben Vaughn, and today I'm here to talk about some of my favorite songs and the first time I got to hear them after they were written. One of the coolest things about my job is that I get to be a part of the moment that right after songs are written, right after they're created, the cellular level, the DNA of songwriters writing songs. I was raised in rural Kentucky, loving country music, and I was taught that find out what you love and then figure out how to make a career out of it, right? And so I loved country music, simply, and love songs. I love the people that create them. So I found out there's this whole industry called music publishing where your job is to support songwriters. So I was very fortunate to get into that, and I'm fortunate to still be in it today. I say music publishing is a game of inches. If one thing changes, the whole thing changes. And so that's from how a song is written, to how a song is pitched, to who records the song, how it's recorded, when it gets released, how it gets promoted, and all the things that have to happen for a song to be a quote-unquote hit. Every day, I get to hear an original song that someone walked into a room and created. And then you see that song go from that day it was created all the way through the process of becoming, someone's favorite song in their collection. That is easily the biggest rush that you can get as a music publisher. All right, now we're gonna get to hear some songs that I had the great fortune of listening to right after they were written. First up is Forgive by Rebecca Lynn Howard. I remember what it was like when I heard them hit the line, forgive. That's a mighty big word for such a small man. I mean, dude, wow. This just crushed him right there in the song. I was driving to Leapers Fork. I was gonna be running a writer retreat, and I was just listening to demos, one after the other, and this song came on, and it just blew me away. What's interesting about this song in particular when it was written is Rebecca Lynn had a record deal, but she had a record finished. Faith Hill was recording an album at the time, and she had heard the song. I actually had played it for her, and she loved the song, so much so that she was playing the song for friends and colleagues, saying it was the centerpiece of her upcoming album. Rebecca Lynn's label heard the song and immediately wanted her to record it, but it had been promised to Faith. And so we had to have a conversation with Faith and her team about Rebecca recording the song, because she did write the song. Sometimes that could be a very hard situation, but in this case, Faith very graciously understood that Rebecca, who wrote the song, should record the song. And one cool little aside is when Rebecca was recording Forgive in the studio, Faith sent her a bouquet of flowers. Okay, next. This was a song literally heard all over the world. I remember getting a call from Hillary Scott, and she said, hey, I'm in the parking lot. I want to play you something. I just wrote something. Walked out, got in her car. I heard what is called a work tape, and a work tape is the version of the song after the writer has just written it, before it's been demoed, before it's been recorded as a master, okay? So it's like, couldn't be more fresh. The opening line is, picture perfect memories scattered all around the floor, which you're like, ooh, what's this gonna be? And by the time they get to the part, I'm a little drunk and I need you now, it just washed all over us of like, this is something special. And that song in particular was literally a hit all over the world, won multiple Grammys, it topped the country charts, it topped the pop charts. It was extremely special time. I wish I could say I could always predict a global hit, that's not true, but you can hear those songs when you're just like, they're just everything. And you immediately want to listen again. That's always a good clue as well. Now we're gonna listen to a song with the title, Beer with Jesus. So I remember I was sitting in my office, and Thomas Rhett, who was just out of college and really hadn't written that many songs at this time, just kind of walked in and wanted to show me a new song he had written. He handed me the CD, and the title was Beer with Jesus. And I remember thinking, man, what a concept for a young writer to come up with. At the time, Thomas was an unsigned artist, and he was just starting to write songs. The fact that he was able to come up with something that unique and that concept, it got everyone really excited about his future career as a songwriter and an artist. I think it's because he just connected so deeply with what he was writing. And Thomas's team had these really cool beer mugs made, just a few of them for the team at the time. And so I still have mine. It's one of my most favorite possessions. And it says, "If I could have a beer with Ben Vaughn." And I love that thing. Now we hear a modern day classic, Traveler by Chris Stapleton. I was fortunate enough to be invited into a label meeting when Chris was putting together the record that ended up becoming Traveler. It was a title track to the record. Many times publishers don't typically go to those meetings, so I felt honored to get invited. And Chris and his wife Morgan came into the meeting and played the songs that would ultimately be Traveler. This song was one that he had just written on basically a cross-country trip to Arizona, and really wrote the song on the road, kind of in his head on the trip back, and it was inspired by his father. Not everyone knows that Chris, as a songwriter, before he became a successful recording artist, he had nearly had 200 songs recorded with other artists. Chris is the same person on stage as he would be if he was sitting in your kitchen. He's just a humble guy, and he's so talented. All right, let's listen to another one. So Riley wrote, "I wish Grandpa's had never died by himself." So the way he set the song up was lessons he had learned and things he wished about life, which he had learned from both of his grandpas. Riley had asked me the question of how he could add his grandpas as co-writers on this song, and they were both deceased. I'm not aware of that ever happened before, or it's been requested, and I'm proud to say we figured it out. His grandpas were the reason for that song, inspired the lines in that song. And I know it was a meaningful thing for Riley and his family for that to happen. At the time in 2018, a lot of the sounds on country radio weren't that country, right? And so I really think this song was one of the reasons that maybe pushed it back a little bit in a country direction. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. And check out more videos here on the official CMA YouTube channel.